I'm Ellen McCauley, and I'm at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York, and I'd like to direct everyone's eyes to the back of the food log, where I have a little saying that says, failure is not the opposite of success, it is part of success. I don't like that quote. I love it because it is so true. How could any of us be where we are today if we did not learn these life lessons? That is why God put us on this earth to learn, to grow, to make mistakes, to learn from them. And I want to talk, and Jessica's testimony really got me thinking about failure and about overcoming it, because we've all been there. There's not one person in this room who hasn't failed either at weight loss or something in their life. I know that for a fact. I can take it to the bank and cash it. And we have survived. You know how I know we've survived? Because we're here. We're here right now. So let's start with a fear of failure. Because do we fear it? Do we fear like, I don't really want to start another diet program because I always fail. Even if I lose the weight, I always gain it back. Let's talk about that fear of failure. Everyone hates to fail, everyone. But for some people, failing presents such a significant psychological threat, their motivation to avoid failure exceeds their motivation to succeed. Is this any of you? Are you so afraid of failing that you don't really embrace the tenets of eating less and eating healthy and moving more because you just don't think it's going to work anyway? And also, is there that fear of shame? Is it like when I was in Walmart running from my Weight Watcher leader because I didn't want her to see me, or Jessica was at the garage sale going, do I get in the car? There's Ellen, I don't want her to see me. Has anyone else ever felt like that? You put on some weight or you gained weight back and you didn't want someone to see you because you felt like, ooh, they're going to think I'm a failure. But shame is a toxic emotion because what we do is we think it's about us as people. It's not that we had one area of our life that maybe we weren't great in. It's our whole life. I'm fat, therefore I'm a failure. If I was thin, I would be successful, or I'd have a perfect life, or whatever. And here's some 10 signs that you might have a fear of failure. Failing makes you worry about what other people think about you. And you know, I went to my, I'm losing track of, I think it was my, what year, whatever, 35th, 40th, it was one of those high school reunions, and I was like 370 or whatever. I was huge, but I love those people. They love me. I think they look at me and say, yeah, Ellen's kind of fat, but I love her. And it was a no judgment love zone. And I'm going back this summer for my 45th high school reunion, and I think they'll look at me and say, well, Ellen's lost some weight. Are they going to love me any more than they did when I was 370 versus what I'll be in August? No, because I am who I am irregardless of my weight. Failing makes you worry about your ability to pursue the future you desire. You ever put your life on hold like, nah, I'm not going to go to that wedding because I don't have a decent thing to wear because I look so fat and people are going to think I'm fat. Failing makes you worried that people will lose interest in you. You know, oh, maybe I better lose weight because my husband might leave me, or I might not get a boyfriend, or whatever. It makes you feel worried about how smart or capable you are. Now that was a big one for me because I always tried to be smart and be capable and be high functioning. And the one area of my life I failed so miserably at, and I would beat myself up and say, you're smarter than this, Ellen. Why are you so fat? Why can't you just do it? Why can't you just do it? And you beat yourself up. Failing makes you worry about disappointing people whose opinion you value. I can't tell you how many people have actually gotten teary-eyed at the scale when they've had a 3 or 4 pound weight. And one person said, I didn't want to do this to you. I didn't want to do this to you, Ella. And I go, to me? You're not doing anything to me. You had a bad week. You gained a few pounds. It's okay. Your weight gain or weight loss isn't doing anything to me personally. I'm proud of you when you're doing well, but I'm just as proud of you when you're struggling because you're still here and you're not giving up. I'm just as proud. You tend to tell people beforehand that you don't expect to succeed in order to lower their expectations. Yeah, I'm joining that pray it off group at church. It's probably just some bogus crap, but I'm going anyway, and I'm sure it's not going to make a difference. I'm sure it's not going to work. You ever say something like that? Once you fail at something, you have trouble imagining that you could have done anything differently to succeed. That's a big one too. Well, I did try. Did you? You often get last-minute headaches, stomach aches, and other physical symptoms that prevent you from completing your preparation or even going to the meeting. It's interesting how many people get sick Thursday afternoons in Syracuse, New York. Oh, my head. Oh, I'm exhausted. Or how many people take a nap Thursday night and sleep through the meeting. I've had that quite a few times as an excuse. Oh, that's interesting. Take a nap and sleep through it. All right. You often get distracted by task. Everything else is more important than losing weight. I was just too busy to eat a healthy meal. I had to grab burger and fries. You tend to procrastinate and run out of time to prepare adequately. And you know what they say in this article, and I really think it's important to do, is to own the fear. Say, you know what? I failed before. I have. But I know now that, and here's what, if I can say my biggest failure, and I will say it, I know what it is. No one has to say it for me. I always quit. Like I would go to Weight Watchers, I would lose 100 pounds, I'd be a hero, and then I'd say, okay, I'm done now. I'm done. I lost weight, I'm done. Then you go back to your life. I would go back, start eating again, and gain it all back. It was not until I realized 2 things. That being healthy was for life, literally and figuratively, and that I couldn't do it without the help of Jesus. I could not lead a healthy life unless I looked at my whole life and said, what is the most important thing in my life? Getting to heaven and helping others get to heaven. The weight, it all comes in there somehow. The healthier I am, the better I feel. Own the fear. I'm not afraid because I'm not going to quit. I know I'm not going to quit. Also, if 2 important things you can have here too is not to sabotage yourself by getting reassurance and empathy from trusted others. Who are we but a room full of trusted others? You come here, and if Lena says to her table, I'm really struggling, do they say to her, well, get out then? We can't stand you. Why don't you just go up those stairs and get out? They go, oh, tell me about it. Let me give you a hug. We're trusted others. Also, focus on the aspects that are in your control. This is especially important if you think, like, for example, people have sick relatives, or they're in the hospital, or they're having surgery. What's in your control? More than you think. If your husband's in the hospital and you're visiting him, just walking the hospital halls while he's having a procedure or something, or bringing your own food. When my beloved sister was at the end and we were keeping vigil, I had a little bag of food so that I wouldn't get tempted to have a candy bar or something. Another thing I wanted to talk about was habits that you can have that help you overcome failure. Accept how you feel. All right, you gained 5 pounds since March 30th. Are you happy about it? I don't know anyone who's going to say, hey, I'm thrilled. I gained 5 pounds. I'm in a weight loss group. But you say, you know what? gained 5 pounds, I own it. I don't feel good about it, but right now, right here, I'm here, and what can I learn that I can go forward with tonight? And remember, you're not a failure just because you had a setback. You are valuable. That's something that I didn't believe for a long time. I felt that my value was when people looked at me and said, man, she's fat. Doesn't she take care of herself? What's wrong with her? You know, I felt that judgment. You wouldn't know it on the outside. I'd be like, hey, how you doing? I was the most confident 370 person you'd ever want to meet. But a lot of it was an act. A lot of it was me just going, hey, how you doing? The thing is, I'm valuable to Jesus no matter what I weigh. I'm valuable to those who love me the most no matter what I weigh. Do I want to weigh less and be healthy? Yes. And just because you failed today or yesterday doesn't mean you're going to fail tomorrow. But learn from every situation you're in. I think I told you guys a couple weeks ago that something happened and I got somebody else involved and it turned very bad. And I thought, what can I learn from this? And what I learned from that is deal with the situation and don't get this other person involved. See? I learned a valuable lesson. And then I can deal with the situation. Now, let's say I got another person involved and it worked out great. Well, that was a lesson. Hey, I'll get that other person involved again because that worked out great. Why would you have a difficult situation? Let's say you, on Friday night, you go to Wegmans and you end up always buying fattening foods. Don't go on Friday night. Go on Saturday morning. Try mixing it up. Try changing a situation. Anyone who wants to do anything in life will fail. Look at Michael Jordan. I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I cannot accept not trying. Samuel Beckett. Ever tried, ever failed, no matter, try again, fail better. Edison failed, Lincoln failed. Everyone who's ever done anything valuable has failed. And then Michael Jordan says, I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Let it out into the light. And you know what that light is? Jesus. Say to him, Lord, I'm struggling here. Say your pray it off prayer. Also find inspiration and support from your world. Why I like to give awards, why I like to tell testimonies, is because it's an inspiration to others. You can always begin again as long as you're doing this. I'm breathing. I'm alive. I can begin again. But you know what you got to have, everyone? A plan. And then you got to take action on that plan. And you know what I find? Don't you think little successes breed self-confidence? And that self-confidence builds self-esteem. And then as you go along, you feel, I'm not going to fail, because you have a small setback and you get right back into it. I'm going to stop right there, Bobby.